am your announcer, Mamie Eisenhower, and I am joined today by...
Puns and Roses.
And we are happy to bring to you Track 3 of the Big O 2018. It is noon today on Sunday, and we have a big throwdown between the junior squads, Rose City Rollers Rosebuds, and California Mayhem Roller Derby. We will be starting in, 15 seconds. So get yourselves together for some amazing roller derby. You can, I believe, you know what? We should go through the rosters since I believe you don't have them on your screens right now.
All right. For the Rosebud, 023 Sharpshooter, 13 Full Agora, 138 Demon Speed, 1717 Trooper, 2 Don't Mess With Me, 252 Pack Animal, 26 Mace of Spades, 29 The Rubinator, 31 Kid Vicious, 360 Big Bang Fury, 423 Spencer, 43 Madelweiss, 50 Showtime, 8 I'll See You Later, 853 Misdemeanor.
And already we have Queen Relentless as your lead jammer for the California Mayhem in those bright orange jerseys.
And Don't Mess With Me in the purple just got out.
And we are seeing some really good walls from those Rosebuds, unsurprisingly. Rose City bringing up all of their juniors to one day become part of the Rose City All-Stars.
We can only hope.
You know, if you're skating for 20 years before you even get into the regular adult league, I think you've got a small advantage.
You really do.
Yeah.
All the advantages of youth, all the advantages of experience.
and none of the and all the advantages of not thinking about the future.
Exactly.
Oh, my knees.
Oh, some of them already are. I've talked to some of the Rosebuds, and yeah, they're like, oh, my knees.
Yeah, absolutely. So now we have in purple number 138, and that is Demon Speed for the Rosebuds in the lead.
Maddie Hatter, the Mayhem jammer, just got out. Demon Speed on the scoring pass.
And we have our first penalty of the day, Rosilla, going into the penalty box. That is the pivot for the Mayhem, and that is the second jam. And hey, you know what? Let's talk about the roster for the Mayhem. Today we have 07 Killer K, 08 Kilowilla, 106 Maddie Hatter, 1215 Sakajakilia, 13 Relentless, 323 Anaphylactic Shock, 329 Rosilla, 5 Tornado, 5150 Diva Destroyer, 54 Widow, and 59 Queen Relentless. And a little confusing that we have 13 Relentless and 59 Queen Relentless, but what the heck, they are different, distinct individuals.
Very true. And we have the Battle of the Eights, 08, which is Kilowilla for Mayhem up against number 8, I'll See You Later for the Rosebuds. Kilowilla has the lead jam.
And you saw that pack speed up and allowing the Rosebuds to get through. I'll See You Later.
Nice force out by the Rose defense.
And so far, just a really nice, clean game. I really love watching the juniors because, especially at this age, it's like watching the adult game, but with fewer stops to it. You know, I feel like once you hit about, 20 or 30 years old, you do think about, this could hurt me in a long-term way. When you're 15, nothing will hurt you. You will live forever. So why not go for it?
The teenagers are statistically immortal. And Sharpshooter is out. Not your lead jammer. Drew a track cut.
Oh.
So that leaves number 59, Queen Relentless, as the sole jammer on the track.
And Queen Relentless goes to the inside, gets some really good assistance by number 329. That's the pivot, Rosilla. And signals to her pack to rush forward, open up the outside line. Didn't quite make it through to the outside line. And so a high block is now being called against number 360 in purple.
Big Bang Fury.
Oh, yeah. And the Rose Wall was so disparate. Like, there were 3 points, almost as if they were bridging the interior of the pack, which is not a thing. But, sometimes you just forget to get together with your people. So that gave a wide open line to the Mayhem.
Well, you also need to credit the Mayhem offense there for just opening those holes.
Oh, absolutely. No, the Mayhem, I saw them yesterday, and they are when you think about teamwork, they really are all together. They are working all together. And so it does not surprise me that they're able to say, all right, we're going to confuse the other team while we do our thing. So now we have number 106, Maddie Hatter in the orange. Just giving a nice smack at the outset for "Do Not Mess With Me."
Do Not Mess With Me right back up, though, and engaging the back of that pack. Big Bang Fury out of the penalty box, probably going to provide a little bit of offensive help here.
And definitely got some offense from the Mayhem as they tried to reform at the front of the pack.
Do Not Mess With Me follows that hole, is your lead jammer.
I'm sorry, so Donut followed the hole, is what you said?
Yes,
That's what
indeed.
you said? Right on. I agree to your terms.
Bit of a late call-off. Mayhem steals 4 on that versus 2 for the Rosebuds.
And you know what? Again, that's showing some great fight by Mayhem when you're able to pull points when you're not in the lead. That's some slick jamming and some good defense from your blockers.
That's why you play to the end of the 4th whistle.
Oh, yeah. And especially here at the Big O, to the 4th whistle of your own track. Every once in a while, people play to the fourth whistle of the adjacent track.
Yes. The whistles from track 2 can be a bit confusing on track 3 here.
Yes, they can. And early and easy, we have got a Rose City lead with Demon Speed and a penalty for the Mayhem.
Well, 4-2 pack advantage for the Rosebuds right now. Kid Vish has been doing a great job containing Kilowilla, but those 2 Mayhem defenders also doing a great job on Demon Speed there.
And so they have a braced 2-wall, which unfortunately was not enough. That seam was broken by Demon Speed. And Kilowilla is, you can see, getting a little tired of going up against literally every other player.
Yeah, Kid Vicious has gotten a couple of really nice drawbacks on Kilowilla. Misdemeanor there. He's a phenomenal defender.
And what I'm liking about Kid Vicious is that she's perfectly willing and able to be the single blocker doing defense while the rest of her team is doing offense. That's an advanced move.
It is. Well,
and everybody rolls over each other, and that gets a forearm penalty, unfortunately, for Demon Speed, giving up the lead position, and we will have a full 2-minute jam.
Kilowilla, though, still needs to make that initial pass, and the Rosebuds are not making that easy.
No, they have a wall that is almost completely stopped, and Willa has decided that is enough. Not even a sneaky star pass, just like, oh, you take this, please.
Here you go. I'm done. And that is 3:29. Rosilla is now your jam of record for the Mayhem. And there's the long drawback by Kid Vicious once more.
So on this broadcast, I'd like to remind you that Hit This Derby Gear has everything you need to get rolling, from skates to protective gear and unmatched service for all your derby needs. Before you hit the track, hit this. I am 100% sure you can find Hit This online. We're having a bit of a moment with our referees. There is a referee official timeout, just making sure everything's on the up and up. Ooh, that was an illegal procedure by the Mayhem Jammer, who will now give up the start, so there will be a power jam start for Rose City.
And LCU Later is not the jammer that you want to give up a power start to.
No. LCU Later we saw just tear apart the track in the last time that she was wearing that star, and tearing apart the opposition right now.
Yeah. And she just graduated out of the Rose Petals program.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
so,
my goodness.
I mean, you look at her and you figure that she's probably about to graduate out of Rosebuds. No, she just graduated into Rosebuds.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be devastating for the opposing juniors as the years go by.
Yeah. She's a skater that I've been watching for a few years now, and if she sticks with us, she's she's going to be all-world talent.
Wow. And you can see that right now, just barely even breaking stride, approaching the opposition. And yes, you can see that that is in large part because those blockers are helping out. But once again, the Rosebuds pack is getting really extended. And you know what? Elsie doesn't, it doesn't bother her. She doesn't need too much help there.
No, absolutely not.
And here we go, in through her own wall. And that was a forearm against Relentless, number 13 in orange.
So Relentless draws the forearm penalty, so that gives the Mayhem their own power jam.
And no one can call off this jam, so we'll be going, again, the full 2 minutes. There's only 30 seconds left, though, so there's still enough time. There's now enough time for Mayhem to score some points, but not enough time to ice out the jammer.
Another long drawback. I believe that was Fulagora on that drawback. I'll see you later. Back on the track. Queen Relentless trying to call off the jam. Does not have that ability. The refs, luckily for her, did not.
And I've seen that actually just recently at the Boardwalk Empire in Santa Cruz, California. We did have a jammer, and there was just a little tiny bit of confusion about she'd just gotten the penalty, hadn't left the track, called off the jam, and her jam referee, unfortunately, instinctively called off the jam and then wait, no. So that was a penalty given.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate. Oh, hey, here we go. Lead jammer. That is 106, Maddie Hatter, coming around with some speed here.
And Maddie is approaching with that same speed, whipping off her own blocker to take the inside line.
Sharpshooter getting forced out on the inside. Now meeting the back of that four wall, getting some offensive help.
That is by the Rosebuds pivot.
Thinking that might be Trooper, but it's hard to see the number from here.
And Maddie Hatter meets that final purple blocker. Big Bang Fury keeps on going.
Which is no small task. Big Bang Fury is a devastating blocker.
Absolutely. I would not, as an adult, I don't want to be hit by Big Bang Fury. I think that would hurt a lot.
And Sharpshooter is now the only jammer on the track. Pulling the helmet cover. Looking for Trooper. Trooper takes the star, and Trooper is off.
And just a final attempt at a hit there. That was by 1215 Sakajakilia. Didn't quite complete it, though. She was able to stay on the track. Lots of Rose City fans in the house cheering on Trooper. She comes around one more time.
Edelweiss takes one last shot at the Mayhem jammer. Just isn't enough to stop it.
No, and Maddie Hatter has come around, has gained 4 points. I don't know. Yes, indeed, and an additional 3 points in that circuit. So that was an 8-17 jam. The Mayhem really picked up the slack on that one. There was such a wide gulf before. Now, 9 points, that's not a comfortable distance.
No, that's definitely not a comfortable distance. And the Rosebuds, looking at that momentum shift, have decided to call a timeout.
You know, I would. If I was expecting to just slam down on the other team and I'm finding that my slamming isn't slamming so slam, then maybe I'm just going to talk to my team about how to make that happen.
Yes.
I'm really sure that that was coherent. I'm positive.
I got exactly where you were going with that.
So I wanted to thank our social media team. They're working feverishly all weekend to bring you live tweets and Facebook coverage throughout the event. If ever you see a game that is not being live tweeted or Facebooked, then please know that this entire tournament is staffed by volunteers, and with 3 tracks of Derby running from 10 a.m. to 10:30 p.m., every once in a while there's not going to be someone available for that. The fact that we have so very, very many people available and willing and skilled to make all of that tweeting and Facebooking happen, I'm thrilled to pieces.
Yeah, they do a great job here. I've been coming the past few years as a fan. This is my first time as an announcer, and
Oh, hey. Honestly, this is my favorite tournament.
yeah,
This is where it's at.
it's a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Ooh.
Oh, Donut mess with me. Gets to the front of the pack. Gets knocked down by number 13, Relentless. That was a big hit.
And not only a big hit, a low hit. So Relentless is going to the box for that. I'm thinking she's thinking it's not worth it for that.
Yeah, pack disadvantage there for Mayhem, 4-1. Long drawback by Mace's Spades.
And this is unfortunate for Kilauea because she does hit and she's very sneaky, but what we've seen so far is she does need the assistance of offense from her pack, and with so few players on the track, she's just not going to get it.
Yeah, and she just took hit after hit after hit by that Rosebuds defense.
Mm-hmm.
And then another long drawback by Misdemeanor and Kid Vicious. Ooh,
Wow, and another hit out.
Relentless coming in.
And a nice effort at the apex jump. Did not complete, landed on the inside.
Didn't have quite enough momentum, but almost stuck that landing.
And hey, why not try, right?
Exactly.
And now is the time when we're starting to see penalties again. That's number 13, Fulagora, for Rose City going into the box now.
Misdemeanor also heading to the box.
And that is for a directional penalty.
Donut mess with me with some good agility. Does get recycled, though.
And Saka Jaquilia also in the box. Again, I think both teams are feeling the heat right now. And even though it is a currently 24-point jam, bringing the Rosebuds forward, I don't think they're relaxing on this one.
No, definitely not. Donut mess with me with the call-off.
Well, that was a really impressive comeback from that timeout. I don't know what they said in that timeout, but it sure worked.
I believe it's something about slamming.
Oh, you know what? I believe it was. I overheard something to that effect. So taking the line for the Mayhem, number 59, Queen Relentless, who'd started this game and has decided to continue this game.
Finding the outside line, Demon Speed, a little bit behind. Queen Relentless through for 4.
And hesitates on that call-off, checks for the bench coach. Bench says, I'm betting you can make one more circuit before the Demon comes through. I know that Demon's made at least 1 point, and now that's all of them.
Yep.
I'm going to say strategically, I disagree with that decision. Considering the jammer that was on the track, Demon Speed, as we've said before, is so incredible as a jammer. Not the jammer you want to say, oh, I'm betting that she won't be that hard. She will. She totally will.
Yeah, I concur with your disagreement.
Yeah. Well, and frankly, the scoreboard concurs with that disagreement as well, with no points gained in that jam.
I'll see you later says, I'll see you later.
Oh, and how?
Back
So
block.
very later.
That's, yes.
That was unfortunate. And you know what? She's grinning and saying, yeah, that wasn't what I meant. But that's kind of sportsmanship I like to see. I'm like, yeah, I'm disappointed in myself, but I'll get back on there. It'll work. So in this power jam, everyone's speeding up a little bit. And I got to say, I am really impressed at the fast reforming of the walls here. Because at speed, that is so difficult to do. And Rose City's still making it happen. Mayhem is still trying to make a goat out of one of the opposition players. And even though it's slowed down now, that makes it a little easier. With both jammers back on the track, everyone distracted.
I'm really impressed by the Mayhem offense, but also by the Rosebuds defense and their ability to sort of almost maintain triangles in space where they get separated but maintain their positioning and can reform quickly.
Yeah, no, that is really impressive. I think that's one of the things that all teams at all levels are seeking to do more of, and to see our juniors teams do it at this high level is just incredible and impressive. We did see Relentless, number 13 in orange, go into the penalty box for the Mayhem. So that is leaving Jammer Rosilla at a slight disadvantage, and almost left at an extreme disadvantage. And in fact, that blocker did not come onto the track fast enough that they did not notice that the pack wasn't complete. Tried to get there before 5 seconds, did not achieve it. So that pack will be, in fact, light.
And it will be light for the next jam as well. That would be Donut Mess With Me pulling down, looks like 4 points. Rosilla just did not make it in, but not by much. Oh, sorry, Rosilla is now your jammer.
I believe she was last time as well.
Okay.
That was such a short jam that...
just running her again.
And for you, those of you playing along at home who probably know better than we do, if we are wrong, we apologize. If we were right, we knew it all along.
So true. And looks like we are having a timeout of some sort.
This is the timeout for the Mayhem, at least what is being indicated, but I don't see them talking amongst themselves particularly. The coach is coming to the track. Aha! The coach wants to speak to his current set that's on the track, not necessarily his bench. And so everyone's having that discussion right now. So, you know what? While we've got you here, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of our officials, both skating and non. Some of whom are good friends of mine because they're just lovely people. Some of whom I've never met before and I'm super impressed with their skills. And those include our NSOs Terabyte, Locomotive, Extra Crispy, Derby Sanchez, Doling It Out, Admin, Switzerland, Nora Leaf, and Elkyholic.
And our skating officials, Harley Quinn Davidson, Killer Key, Killer Bite, Razor, Ringer, All in Your Grill, and Don Scorleone.
Don't mess with him. You might get a helmet in your bed.
All right, we got the 5-second call. 5150 Diva Destroyer on the line for the Mayhem. Tries to play a little jammer on jammer defense. Demon Speed has none of it and is your lead jammer.
Did you see that just really calm pass through by Demon Speed? Just eyed up where the opposing blockers were, like, I'm just going to slowly one-foot it around you on the outside.
Yep. I got this.
Yeah. And not, it didn't even look like an effort. Just, oh, yeah, I'm just skating at the roller rink. Here we go.
Yep.
That's a cutting the track penalty, taking out Diva Destroyer. That is not what the Mayhem needs right now. They are behind by a considerable amount. This is just going to make it worse. And another blocker going into the box as well.
So 4-3 pack disadvantage. Demon Speed extends the pack, pulls in 5.
And again, we've seen since Demon Speed doesn't need a great deal of assistance. At first, her pack is saying, fine, you deal with it. We'll make sure that the pack is extended so that someone either gets out of play or has to let you go.
Well, it was good work there by the Rubinator and Misdemeanor to sort of break up that wall and then let the jammer do what she needs to do.
And honestly, in this particular jam, losing the Rubinator to the penalty box isn't giving such a strong disadvantage to the Rosebuds. So I would say that was worth it in making that happen.
Trooper with the drawback.
And another Mayhem blocker going to the box. I'm going to do a little couch philosophy here and say that given the strength of the opposition, the Mayhem's getting a little bit more in their heads. They're getting a little bit more aggro in their approach, which is unfortunately putting them at greater risk.
Yeah, you really, in a game like this, you need to minimize your penalties. Keep your skaters on the track as much as possible because...
Yeah. Because, I mean, the Rosebuds obviously are a strong team. Of course they are. In fact...
I'll see you later. Takes the outside line. Is your lead jammer. Meanwhile, number 59, Queen Relentless, is relentlessly attacking the back of the pack, but the long drag back by Big Bang Fury.
With arms in the sky saying, oh, it's me.
Yeah.
I'm the one you need to talk to about this.
Big Bang Fury, another force out.
That's number 7, Killa K, going to the penalty box for the Mayhem. And a cutting the track. A cutting the track penalty against Queen Relentless.
Oh, nice hit there from the Mayhem. Slowing it, LC later down. It's good work by Rosilla to make that contact.
And Sakajikalia going back to bridge, and that left the wall open. And so Rose got another 15 points. So here we go. We're starting with Relentless in the penalty box for the Mayhem, giving a power jam start to number 2, Donut Mess With Me. And Donut going around Killawilla, just kind of using that own physics to go from back to front. Look at that backwards skating.
One thing you could say about Donut Mess With Me, she knows how to jam.
Yeah, little bit. Some really good work from Anaphylactic Shock. You can see from the Mayhem, eyes on every part of the track, both back at the jammer, front to the wall, sides to see what's open, and really trying to make that happen. Oh, look at that Rose pivot, skidding all the way with Relentless, who gets through. We have a low block called on number 50, Showtime.
Nice work there by Queen Relentless to skate past Mace's spades.
And Donut Mess With Me is ignoring, or the bench coaches, I should say, are ignoring the fact that Relentless is out and scoring points. They think that they could make more by just keeping this jam going the full time, or at least a longer time.
I think they're extending the jam just to get all of their blockers out of the box, which they just did. Showtime has left the box, so they have an empty penalty box for the next jam.
Which, again, that's excellent strategy, because they're not going to bleed that hard.
Yeah, when you're up by, at this point, almost 80 points, you can afford to trade points for time.
Yeah, and why not? And frankly, also that might not only get your people out, but wear down the opposition team. If you're really trained on keeping things going and having that endurance, you can do a lot more.
Oh, yes. Misdemeanor playing some offense, trying to catch a goat, get Sharpshooter out. Sharpshooter is out, but with a back block. So this is a power jam for number 106, Maddie Hatter.
And I believe Maddie still has the opportunity to take the lead.
Yes, Maddie does have the opportunity to lead, provided that she can find the rabbit hole and
get through. I mean, these rabbits are not being very amenable to that plan.
No.
Big Bang Fury giving really powerful, not just hit, but positional block to there. And she's out. Maddie Hatter takes the lead. Now Sharpshooter still has to get through the pack.
And
Leaves the apex.
that apex jump will do it. There's no blockers in the middle of the apex.
And I think that was our very first successful apex jump, and what a beautiful apex jump that was.
Man, Sharpshooter takes a nice hit there from, looks like 12-15 Sacagakilya, but keeps her feet.
Sacagakilya, a really versatile player. I've seen her blocker, pivot, and jam with equal skill.
Okay, and track cut sends Sharpshooter back to the penalty box.
Oh. Well, this will just give a little more opportunity to the Mayhem. That will ice out Sharpshooter to start out the next jam.
And Maddie Hatter decides she's had enough of Big Bang Fury.
Yeah, that's a one-woman wall that's hard to get past.
Yeah. I am looking forward to seeing her age up into the Wheels of Justice, just saying.
Oh, man. Yeah, I feel like every team that's got a juniors division right now is going to take over the universe in 10 years. Because, I mean, where else are you going to get these amazing players from?
Yeah. And players coming in with this amount of experience at this level of play, yeah, it's... Well, you can already see it at the Seattle playoffs. Just last year, I was watching some teams putting out junior skaters against some of the best skaters on the planet, and they were holding their own. You know, just these young women 2 or 3 years out of juniors, or even 1 year out of juniors. Gallifrey.
Gallifrey is amazing.
Yeah.
And again, you're right, 1 year out of juniors, and was already first out of juniors, then into playoffs.
Yeah. She was playing for the World Championship as a top-line pivot for Waj. I mean, it's awesome to see.
And with a loud roar from the bench, that jam is called off. So another 3 points given to the Mayhem, and they shut out the Rosebuds, which is, hey, that's what you're looking to do.
Yep. A little bit here, a little bit there. Queen Relentless back on the track up against Demon Speed. Demon Speed looking for the long start.
And we've seen this pair up quite a lot. And Demon Speed has more often than not gotten the advantage.
Oh,
almost
wow.
Trips over that rolling blocker. Does not look happy about that.
Kept her feet on one skate, though. That was...
Yeah, that was
I wish I had
tremendous.
that kind of balance. Oh. Widow with a big hit. Takes down Demon Speed, but Demon Speed back from the abyss and coming around one more time.
And we've got a blocker from each team going into the box now. And a cutting the track penalty called on additional blocker, number 329, Rosilla.
And track cut on Queen Relentless.
Oy. Oh, and, both jammers in the box.
Oh, hey, Jammer Do-si-do. Queen Relentless saw Trooper go down, decided to head back onto the track, and the refs decided Mesa Spades was involved with that. Oh, and hey, we got a track cut on Demon Speed. Demon Speed heading back to the penalty box.
You know what? Everyone's just going back to the penalty box right now.
Yeah, the penalty box has just been a revolving door.
Well, the penalty box is managed today by Miss Terabyte, so I'd want to hang out there too.
Oh, yeah.
So Mayhem has the opportunity now to at least even up the score on this jam with about 20 seconds left.
Kid Vicious with yet another nice drawback.
And with that purple wall split up, that was really good awareness by Relentless. Coming around. Now the score is evened up. Can she get another point in 2 seconds? Maybe.
I think so.
Depends on whether she was skating in the inside, and she was.
That's another 2.
But it was also another 2 for Rose, so it's still even Steven. That was a lot of hustle.
That was a lot of hustle. And yeah, sometimes if you're get in a situation where you're sort of playing for point differential. A 12-12 jam works in your favor.
Heck yeah. Well, at this point, I would say that the Mayhem is trying to stop the bleeding.
Yeah.
Because with this much of a difference as we go into the second half, I'd really love to see them make a big comeback and really, squash that gulf. But I'm also not expecting them to come back and squash the whole game. But if you can squash the gulf, that means that your standing is better as you progress as a team.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that said, we've got about a 9-minute intermission now. And so I hope to see everyone back to finish up this game between Rose and Mayhem. In the meanwhile, I am and will have been Mamie Eisenhower.
And I'm Puns and Roses. See you in a few.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Rose City Rollers Rosebuds and the California Mayhem Roller Derby. I am and will remain Mamie Eisenhower.
And I'm Puns and Roses. And coming back from halftime, our score is 159 for the Rosebuds, 86 for the Mayhem. We'll be having Maddie Hatter in the orange for the Mayhem. I'll see you later, number 8 in the purple for the Rosebuds. Having a little jammer tete-a-tete? Tete-a-tete? Whatever. French is not my language.
They're talking.
Yeah, they're talking.
They're talking to each other.
A nice friendly jammer chat.
And that's what I like to see. Because you know what? You're going to see these people again. Why not be friends?
Exactly. And I'll see you later is out. Is your lead jammer?
With both teams having the full complement of blockers upon the track. That doesn't seem to bother LCU later.
Raven Spencer had a nice long drawback. Now anchoring that front 3 wall. And there we go. Maddie Hatter is out and is eligible to score. I suspect LCU later will burn off as many seconds as possible and call it. There we go.
And we could see Diva Destroyer from the Mayhem going to the back, prepared and ready to do some offense to assist her jammer get through. Turns out not to be necessary because that jam was called before anything could happen, but really good positioning.
Queen Relentless starting against Donut Mess With Me.
And that, before the jam quite started, there is an official timeout being called. The officials skating to the side. I'm not really sure what's going on. I'm hoping that someone will come over and tell us. But it looks like it wasn't that big a deal.
No. Quick official timeout. Ready to go. Both defenses ready, waiting.
Queen Relentless came down and sat in a way that was like a yoga posture. That was both impressive and a little distressing from my point of view.
Yes.
And a long hit out with that brace 3 wall in the front of the pack from the Mayhem.
Donut Mess With Me getting a little offensive help from Fulagora. Meanwhile, that back wall of Pack Animal and Showtime, and looks like 43 Madovice. Oh, wow. Madovice with a big hit on Queen Relentless.
And what we're seeing is that both teams are bridging right now, and that's not actually how bridging works. Bridging is so that you can get more out of your front of the pack or back of the pack, whichever is with the whatever pack direction you have. You only need one team to do that because it's your advantage for the other team to go out of play.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Just an interesting notation to see what people are doing today.
One thing that people are doing is watching Donut Mess With Me skate through the pack. Rose City down a blocker, still managing to hold on dearly against Queen Relentless, who's finally through, and looks like she got pretty banged up going through that pack.
Yeah, she's holding her midsection Could be from hitting, could just be from breathing hard.
Yeah. I can see where exhaustion and fatigue can be an issue at this point.
And honestly, Queen Relentless has been relentless in the course of this game, but has jammed a lot and has gotten a lot of abuse. It has been hard for her to get through. She has taken hard hits, and I can totally see her getting worn down.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of feel like teenagers just have unlimited amounts of energy and stamina, but even they do get tired.
Oh, absolutely. And one more time, we saw at the very last minute the Mayhem completing their pack, which makes me kind of worry about what the bench coaches are looking at as the pack is being formed, because, once I'll say, well,
These things happen, but twice, that's kind of an issue.
Yeah, that's a pattern.
Maddie Hatter through quickly. Picks up 4 points, coming around for another round.
Trooper getting one last hit on Maddie before coming through.
Somebody getting sent out for something, misdemeanor.
Ooh.
And Maddie Hatter taking advantage of that bit of confusion on the Rosebuds as to who was needed to be where. Maddie Hatter taking further advantage of that depleted Rosebud pack.
I really enjoyed that moment where Fulagora literally just shoved her teammate into the jammer.
Yep.
It's not even a hammer and nail, it's more like a nail gun.
Mesa Spades and company with the long drawback. Mesa Spades heading to the penalty box. Misdemeanor back in play. Kid Vicious with the knockout punch.
Really long drawback. Rose is doing that a lot. I mean, that's what every team strives to do. Rose is consistent about that extreme drawback.
Trooper and Misdemeanor. Kid Vicious all coming in, breaking up that pack a little bit, trying to get Demon Speed out. Misdemeanor says, here you go, have some recycling. And there's a track cut.
Oh, and that takes out Maddie Hatter. Cutting the track, going to the penalty box, giving a power jam start to Rose City.
Ref holding up 2 points for Demon Speed, although Demon Speed did not have the helmet cover on. Extra Crispy, I believe, is informing the ref of that. I'm expecting that to be a bit of a score change.
Because while you can take off the star,
you can't score without the star.
Them's the rules. And the Mayhem, actually, the score adjustment so far has been 1 more point given to the Mayhem that wasn't showing up on the board before. And we have Jam Ref Julia Cezia checking in, and indeed those points were taken away from the Rosebuds. So great work by the Mayhem, giving an 8-21 jam in their advantage.
That's the sort of thing you need. I mean, this is a big lead, but it's not necessarily insurmountable with 24 minutes left.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we are starting with the Mayhem Jammer in the box.
That's not going to be helpful.
No.
And Sharpshooter just unloads that clip and is through for lead jammer.
The Rubinator was on the inside line, just casually standing, saying, hey, here's your lane.
And Raven Spencer did the exact same thing. Here you go. I'm just going to give you that whole take it.
And the Mayhem is figuring that out. So they've got people up in front and one final slice in the back.
Big Bang Fury helping to extend that pack. No pass, no penalty. And 4 points scored for Sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter coming through the inside, pushing back her own blockers.
Hits the bullseye on that apex jump.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a star pass.
Is this the first star pass of this game?
I think it might be.
Because That's something that honestly the Mayhem could have been using. No, it's the second because we saw the star pass. It was just like, I'm tired.
Oh,
you
yes.
take it. But that was one to Sakajakilia when she was in better position. Now she lost that position, but she's got fresher legs for this.
Yes.
So was still able to get out, don the star, and approach that 4-wall. Now, what I saw there was Spencer, number 423, was looking at the forward pack, not paying attention to that jammer, so that wasn't a complete Rosebud wall at that time.
I'm a little bit fascinated by this because Sharpshooter was desperately trying to call that off back at that apex, still trying to call this off.
And is finally able to. Now, at that point, they still got a cut track against Sakajakilia.
So that actually really worked out in the Rosebuds' favor that they didn't call the jam off when she wanted them to call the jam off, because then they get the power jam to start this next jam. But that was a very, very long time between the time that she first started trying to call the jam off and all the way around multiple seconds to the other apex before they finally did call the jam off.
Now, here's the thing.
On about her 4th try.
They're on the other side of the track, so I couldn't see that clearly. I have 2 theories. One theory, maybe the jam ref didn't see because they were looking at something else. Second theory, maybe she was tapping something that wasn't her hips.
No, she was tapping her hips.
Oh, I did not see. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she was right out there kind of in the open, staring at her jam ref.
And that is why I've seen most jammers get the habit of yelling, I'm calling it off. I'm calling it off.
Yeah. And some jammers, when they do the call-offs, it's like a bird flapping its wings. I mean, they get really animated about it. She was doing sort of the small motion.
The Bonnie Thunders style, as I call it.
Yeah.
Bonnie Thunders calls it off, and I'm like, it's such a small motion.
Yeah.
She gets it done.
But yeah, it's a very small, compact motion.
Yeah.
But some of them, I mean, when they call it off, you can see from the space station.
Well, maybe that's what was needed in that moment.
Yeah, I think Sharpshooter really could have used to try that particular method there.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, as I said, it's certainly working out for them because...
Yeah, because then they got that jammer in the box just to start out with, and the jammer returned to the box, so 2 penalties in there, which means that Sakajakilia, I mean, she's going to come in again. Instead of being the pivot or the blocker, she's going to start off as the jammer. And so and she doesn't seem super happy about that. And honestly, I wouldn't be either if I'd just gotten 2 penalties in 1 jam.
Yeah, I would not be either.
And with 5 seconds to go.
Tornado needing to put that pivot helmet on.
Oh, barely makes it.
Misdemeanor comes up. Plays a little bit of offense, spreads the pack, and Misdemeanor and company. Big Bang Fury. Oh, Sakajakilia says, I'm just going to ignore that wall.
And in fact, there was a little hesitation from the jam ref, who then decided, yep, you cleared. You're on your scoring pass.
Oh, Big Bang Fury with a huge takeout. Saves 1 point.
And it looks like slowly removing from the track. Now we're just resetting with 1 Rose City pivot in the box, a nearly full pack, and a few more words of encouragement from the Mayhem coach running onto the track, talking directly to his team.
Hopefully those are words of encouragement.
Yeah, I mean, it is the juniors. Please let us save them for later and not break their spirits now.
Right.
Be nice to them. They are our future.
Oh, they are. Oh, Showtime coming up, playing some big hitting offense there. And track cut call on Queen Relentless, heading to the penalty box. Demon Speed still could be the lead jammer, is lead jammer.
And once again, that was leaving things wide open for Demon Speed. And we've seen such amazing work from all of the Rose City jammers. I don't know that you want to give it up to any of them, but Demon in particular has shown such skill in single-handedly taking on the pack that once you pair her up with offense, yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah. And now she's getting a little bit of offensive help from Showtime. Showtime dropping back, letting Demon Speed do the work.
Diva Destroyer just coming in at every moment, trying to get in front of Demon. And so what we're seeing from the Mayhem is a standard 2-wall that may or may not become a 3-wall, and a person.
Oh, no! Oh, Raven Spencer just buried Queen Relentless.
Yeah, that was. I am incredibly impressed by Relentless just.
For getting up.
Yeah, just standing up and saying, fine, I'm just going to take that.
Oh, I
that
felt
was a
that
lot
from
to
over
take.
Here.
Yeah. And you can see Relentless is still feeling it.
Yeah. She's not all that interested in getting back into that pack. Demon Speed calls it off, says, you know what? I've got my points. I'm done.
And that was the right choice. Relentless was able to score points at that point, and she's feeling it. She is. I feel like of all of the Mayhem jammers, she has taken the most physical abuse of the day, and I think it's a coincidence that it is her that like she's in a position to receive a big hit, but receive it she did.
Yeah. I mean, she was doing a great job. She had beaten basically all 4 of the Rose blockers, but Raven Spencer just came out of nowhere and just clobbered her.
Well, now we have Maddie Hatter in the lead position.
I'll see you later. Tiptoeing around on the outside, picks up 4. Oh, nice offensive work there by Kilowilla.
Oh, and just as Maddie tries to call off the jam, she is informed that she had already cut the track. So off she goes to the penalty box, giving up the lead and giving the power over to Elsie, who is now seeing the full force of the Mayhem wall until Rose decides that their time is better spent not holding the back line, but attacking with offense.
I'll see you later trying to call it off. No, she cannot.
Just because you're on the track doesn't mean that you're in the lead.
Exactly. So instead, she just casually skates around the Mayhem defense. Kilowilla getting in there, just trying to blow up that Rose blocking core. Meanwhile, Killa Spades doing the same.
Yeah, Killa has so much energy for this point in the game. She has been playing a really tight game today.
Even now, she's battling out against Mesa Spades to break the bridge.
And then we have Pack Animal from Rose going into the penalty box.
Oh, another track cut.
Oh, that's devastating for Maddie. Once again, 2 points, 1 jam, or two penalties, 1 jam. And so far, Rose has been able to shut out Mayhem in this jam.
I'll see you later. Picking up another 5. That was a 24-point jam. Wow, that was a big point differential there for Rose.
Now, one additional advantage that Rose has this day is that they have a deeper bench in general than the Mayhem has. So all of the Mayhem players are playing more jams. They're skating. They have more energy to lose in this game, and you can see it at this point. Just having a couple extra players to give relief makes such a difference.
Yeah, it really does make a huge difference. And with the with just the hard hits that both teams are giving out this game, it just takes a toll on the body. And
yeah,
if you have a few more players to take those hits and give those hits, it gives you a huge advantage.
Absolutely. Well, it looks like Rose has decided to take this team timeout to talk amongst themselves. A little bit of assistance there from the bench coach going up to the front. So I'd like to say that the 2018 WFTDA Continental Cups will produce the best in region through a competitive bracket. The first year, the Continental Cup Series will be hosted in Kalamazoo, Michigan, Omaha, Nebraska, and Birmingham, United Kingdom. Find out more at WFTDA.com.
I'm interested to see how this new playoff format works out. I kind of like the idea of it. It sort of harkens back to the old regional format that we used to have.
Absolutely. And I understand why we switched away from the regional format, but as Derby progresses, and it is progressing so fast at every moment, we have to be able to change with the changes we're creating in the world just by existing with more and more people in more and more places.
I mean, at some point, I would not be surprised to see a fourth Continental Cup in Asia show up at some point.
That'd
I
be
mean,
amazing.
With the, obviously the Australians can field some good teams, and
Japan's coming up. They've got
Japan's
some
coming
good
up,
teams.
Korea's got some teams. So yeah, they may need to add some more Continental Cups at some point.
Absolutely. And I do like the conscious effort that the WFTDA is making to ensure that Derby isn't seen as a North America-centric, a United States-centric sport, because it surely isn't. And we need to ensure that all of our skaters and all of our leagues are represented appropriately.
Yeah, I remember the first Eastern Regionals where London came, and London was at that point about the 11th seed in the East and displaced DC, which was the 10th seed to come into that. There's a bit of controversy coming out of that, and then London ends up leaving the tournament at 5th after a barn burner last second game against Montreal that was
that's right.
honestly one of the best sporting events I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And so, and that was sort of like all right, hey, Europe's here. And I mean, for a while, it was just sort of London was kind of the sole non-North American team to represent the rest of the world. But now, with Bear and Crime, and just obviously Victorian, the current reigning world champions, I mean, there's just so many good international teams that, it's not that North American sport that it was for so long.
And that is only to the good for the present and future of this sport. And speaking of the future of this sport, these juniors are still going. Donut Mess With Me has gotten the lead against Maddie Hatter.
Donut Mess With Me with the call-off. No points for either team. Donut Mess With Me got 5, but no points subsequently. And,
Sometimes as we're looking at the jam refs, we see the circuit points rather than the scoreboard points. So
the scoreboard's a little bit behind us, so it kind of hurts my neck to get up and around. I don't have the flexibility that I had when I was these kids' age, that's for sure.
I never had this flexibility. So now we have the Mayhem coming through. Anaphylactic Shock taking the star for the Mayhem for the first time, coming in and just burning up the track.
Well, she certainly did not choke on this opportunity.
Listen, you.
Hey, I got the name Puns and Roses for a reason.
Oh, that's right.
And track cut on Anaphylactic Shock.
No.
Oh, wow. Sharpshooter. Went ballistic on that apex jump, but was knocked out. Did not stick the landing. Has to recycle.
Kid Vicious living up to her name, just testing to see if her opponent is standing properly. Gives her a nice hit, knocks her to the ground. As a reminder to say, always be ready.
Yes.
And up comes the Rose City pack to engage with offense. Unfortunately, an illegal block takes down number 29, the Rubinator.
Sharpshooter left alone to face that Mayhem pack. Oh, nice hit there by Killawilla.
Yeah, Killawilla did a really effective shove out. Unfortunately, just a bit of her skate also went out, so did not force a recycle. Tornado cutting around to the front to engage with the Rose Jammer. Effective enough. Didn't engage much, but in the dodge away from her, the Jammer went to the outside line and had to recycle.
And Sharpshooter, thinking that she had another no pass, no penalty, instead gets a track cut.
Oh.
Anaphylactic Shock. finishes that off with 3 points in the air.
And so it begins again. Hey, send pictures of your pets enjoying the Big O from home. Hashtag Big O Cats and hashtag Big O Dogs. We love to see our furry fans, because no one loves Derby like your pets love Derby. Heck, do hashtag Big O Cats and send a picture of your rabbit. We don't care. We love all the pets.
Exactly. We try to be pet agnostic.
But in order to find your hashtags, that's as good as we get. Or you can just hashtag it Big O 2018, and we're definitely going to see it from there.
And that is lead jammer for Maddie Hatter. Maddie Hatter engaging the back of that pack. Raven Spencer and company not giving an inch.
And we have Sharpshooter with star in hand, having removed the helmet cover. Definitely not passing it, as the pivot is all the way on the other side of the track, but having a lot of trouble breaking up that braced Mayhem wall. Unfortunately, the Mayhem wall unbraced itself. I believe it was a multiplayer, but don't quote me on that.
Sharpshooter now out and eligible to score. Rose actually having 3 of their primary jammers out on the track at this point. Sharpshooter, Demon Speed, and I'll See You Later. I'll See You Later with that pivot stripe.
And there goes Maddie. I'm concerned that Rose was able to get a few points on that one. And it looks like Rose did get 2 points to gain, but that was still a 2-point gain by the Mayhem, 2-4. And a great handshake there between Queen Relentless and Pack Animal. I don't know if they know each other, but they're friends now.
Yes, they are. And Fuligora with the star for the first time for the Rosebuds.
This is the referees. We could see that the jam ref was consulting with the 2 outside pack refs, I assume, to confirm the number of points from the last jam. We get ourselves back together and restart this jam.
Killer Bite is ready. And here we go.
And I find this an interesting strategy from Rose. I do not see their jammers being worn down. They still seem to have a lot of vim and vigor to get going. I suspect that with this wide a gulf, they're saying, you know what? Let's ease up a little bit and give Mayhem a little more chance. And frankly, give the rest of our team the opportunity to do things they wouldn't otherwise be able to do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And unfortunately, that is a back block on Fuligora.
Oh, no.
But skaters like Fuligora, who are often pivots, giving them the opportunity to jam gives them a little bit more experience. So just in case they do end up with the star,
heck yeah,
they know what to do with it.
Because sometimes you'll be a pivot for forever, and it'll be so long for waiting for a star pass that, well, by the time you get it, it's just a confusion at that point.
What do I do with this?
Well, Rosilla knew what to do. Unfortunately, got a forearm penalty. Is sitting in the box now for the Mayhem.
Wow. Speaking of jammers, big hit by Donut Mess With Me.
And then a good hit by Diva Destroyer as Fuligora re-entered the pack.
Oh, Pack Animal putting the hurt on Queen Relentless. Big Bang Fury with the long recycle. Queen Relentless says, no, I'm done. Yeah,
that's plenty. And having picked up 5 points, why not? That was a 10-point jam for the Mayhem and iced out the Rosebuds. Good on them.
And here we go with another Rosebud pivot with the star, Mace of Spades.
So I think we're just going to see a bunch of Rose City players that we haven't seen jam before. Whereas we have the very shallow jammer rotation for the Mayhem. They have their standard jammers, and you can see why. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they've got some great jammers.
And a bit of a pile down there with Maddie Hatter.
With a big hit on Maddie Hatter.
And Sakajakilia Going back to the penalty box.
Kid Vicious, Mädelweiss, just pounding the Mayhem Jammer. Mace of Spades through 4-5.
Maddie Hatter out on the scoring. And let's see what Rose decides to do. Couple extra points, call it off. And that was good show. 3 points for Rose. 13 total in that jam. Divas Destroyer asking for one more player. Coming back up. No, not one more player. One player's in the box.
All right, anaphylactic shock. I'll see you later. Get ready. Just over 5 minutes left in this game. Oh, I'll see you later. Nice move. Dips in and out. Is your lead jammer.
Anaphylactic shock was struggling at the back. Now getting a lot of help from her wall.
Still struggling. That Rose defense is not giving up. And I'll see you later just rockets around for another scoring pass.
And approaches the wall and just breaks it up single-handedly. Those blockers were not prepared for the level of force that was coming at them. That time they were. Twice.
Oh, nice hit there. Knocking down I'll see you later. A little bit of a...
And Kilauea given just one last tap as she goes through.
Diva Destroyer trying to break up that Rose wall.
And that's what I've seen from players is, yeah, you chase after the jammer and try to get one more, but man, you have to be a hard hitter for that to actually be effective. And that's a low block taking out Rose pivot 138 Demon Speed into the box.
Pack speeds up. I'll see you later. Gets through. Calls it off. Anaphylactic shock. No points. So with just under 4 minutes left, our score is 327 Rosebuds, 136 Mayhem. I think it's probably safe to say at this point that the Rosebuds will take this one.
How dare you?
I know.
That's a lot of prognostication. But again, this is two teams. The one thing that we find about juniors is, unlike the adult leagues in which we have so very, very many teams to choose from, that you can get, like, I don't know, maybe 10 teams that are basically in your same, region of skill. With juniors, since there's fewer teams, that means that there's going to be a more disparate skill level from team to team. And what you can also see between Rose and Mayhem is Mayhem's a bit younger. Like, they're all juniors, but Rose is more teenage level and Mayhem's more preteen to teenage level. And boy, does that make a difference.
It does make a difference. It really is sort of the challenge for the juniors programs, because unlike the adults, you really are cycling your players through every about 5 years or so.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to get that year after year consistency. I mean, some teams certainly do manage. They've got, and I think with sort of like the super juniors programs of the 7 to 12-year-olds, you're better able to develop that pipeline, but it's still a huge challenge.
Absolutely. And some teams just don't have the juniors pipeline to split them up. You have the players you have, and I think the Mayhem will learn a lot. It's like the old saying, some days you win, some days you learn.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to learn a lot from playing players that are more senior, both in team and also in age, because it's just so hard. Well, now they got new skills in their toolbox.
Yeah. You really do learn a lot from playing those top-level teams.
Oh, absolutely. And I've known players who've left their teams to go to higher-level teams, even to go from an A team to a B team, because they said, well, I've reached my limit here, and I want to be great. I can't be great unless I play people who are destroying me. So let's go get destroyed.
Yeah.
So I think there's real value in all of that. And I'm really impressed by the Mayhem sticking in and giving, giving a real fight to this.
Yeah.
There's never been a moment that they have given up, lost heart, and gone home on this. They are present. They are giving it their full energy, and they're like in this last jam. It was 8-8. They didn't give up any points in that last jam.
Yeah, they're going full speed.
And so this is just a plain old timeout from the Mayhem, taking a breath, and one final ad here. The Big O is brought to you in part by the acclaimed Rydell Solaris. Solaris, the performance you demand, the comfort you've been missing. Have you been missing comfort in your life?
I have been missing comfort in my life.
You know where you can find that comfort?
I was going to go with seat cushions, but I think the Rydell Solaris would be a good option as well.
Just sit on a Rydell Solaris. It will have performance and it will have comfort. At that point, probably more mental than physical comfort, but you know in your heart that it will be there. So, but in all seriousness, the Rydell Solaris, I've tried on these boots, like right out of the box. They're ridiculously comfortable. So Rydell Solaris, give them a go.
And Showtime lights up the lead jammer status.
And how? And looking at Showtime, I'm looking at the form of the skater. It's like it's the Jam 1 for her.
Oh, yeah. Well, for Showtime, it is her first time on the jam line.
Well, but not her first time on the track.
No, definitely
She's
not.
been blocking all day today.
Oh, she has been. She's been laying out the hits. Kilauea is out, eligible to score. Showtime calls it off.
And that was 5 points for Rose. So here we go. Relentless is wearing the star for the Mayhem. Now, generally, we've seen Queen Relentless. This is a totally different skater.
Totally different skater. And she's flashing heart signs to all the other skaters, showing the love.
That's really lovely. Sharpshooter comes through, takes that early lead, and no wonder, since we only have 2 Mayhem blockers on the track and a full complement of Rose. And in fact, so many that for a minute, the Sharpshooter had a little trouble
with
getting
her own
past
blockers.
her own players. There's so many of you. Get out of my way.
We're all focused on defense, but not for me.
And that apex jump.
Oh, wow.
Can everyone on Rose do an apex jump?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
It's part of the requirements. You're not allowed to even put on skates until you've shown that you can do an apex jump.
Skating in a straightaway? Nothing. Show me you jumping. And out for a scoring pass. It is Relentless. Now here's the question. There's 2 seconds left in the period. 0 seconds in the period. That is your game. Unofficial score of 359 to 144. We're going to give a moment for our referees to and officials to make sure that they've gotten the correct score. But in the meanwhile, Puns and Roses, that was a great game.
It really was. I mean, don't worry about the score. It was a lot of fun to watch. It was fast-paced, hard-hitting. Both teams just gave it everything they had, and you got to respect that, and you got to love that.
And I do, and I love that both teams showed such a high level of sportsmanship. I know that in the sport of roller derby, as we hit each other, that can cause more, aggression to come to the fore, and neither team let it go to their heads. All of these players are going to be amazing top-line skaters if they decide to keep going.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. They're all fun to watch, and I'm just so glad that we've had the opportunity to see skaters like this skate today.
Heck yeah. Well, that is our final score, 359 to 144. please stick around. Track 3 is coming up at 2 o'clock in Pacific time of Lane County versus Dakota men's teams. That is going to be an intense game. So I hope to see you there. And until then, I am Mamie Theisenhower.
And I'm Puns and Roses.
Don't do anything I would do.